Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a story that's going to blow your mind. Imagine finding a remote control, but not for your TV. No, this remote controls something way crazier. It swaps bodies, and our hero, or should I say, our tomato, is about to find that out the hard way. Meet Tommy Tomato. He's just a regular tomato, living his best life on the kitchen counter. He loves sunbathing by the window, chatting with his veggie friends, and dreaming of one day becoming the star of a delicious pasta sauce. Pretty normal, right? Well, Tommy's life is about to get anything but normal. One evening, a strange object clatters onto the kitchen floor. It's shiny, metallic, and has a big, inviting red button right in the middle. It looks like a remote control, but it's unlike anything Tommy has ever seen. Being a curious tomato, he can't resist. He rolls over to get a closer look. His best friend, a wise old onion named Ollie, warns him, "Tommy, don't touch that. You don't know where it's been." But you know Tommy. Adventure is his middle name. Or it would be, if tomatoes had middle names. He gives the remote a little nudge with his stem, and suddenly, the big red button clicks. Zap! A bright flash of light fills the kitchen. Tommy feels a bizarre pulling sensation, like he's being stretched into spaghetti. When the light fades, he looks down, expecting to see his round red body. But he sees nothing. He's completely transparent. He tries to wave a leafy hand, but he just has floaty, wispy appendages. He's become a ghost. Panicked, he floats over to the fruit bowl. He tries to shout, "Ollie, something's wrong," but no sound comes out. Ollie just sits there, looking worried. Tommy is invisible, and he can't talk. This is a disaster. Then, he sees it. On the floor, right where he used to be, is his tomato body. But it's not just lying there. It's moving. It rolls over, looks at the ghost Tommy, and lets out a spooky, ethereal giggle. Oh no, the remote didn't just turn him into a ghost. It swapped his body with an actual ghost that must have been hanging around the kitchen. So now, we have Tommy the tomato, trapped in a ghost's body, and a mischievous ghost, joyriding in Tommy's tomato body. The ghost, clearly having the time of its life, starts rolling around the kitchen, bumping into things and causing chaos. It rolls right through a puddle of water, something Tommy would never do because it makes his skin wrinkly. Then, it heads for the spice rack. This is serious. A ghost with no taste buds is about to ruin a perfectly good tomato body with way too much paprika. Tommy has to get his body back, and fast. As a ghost, Tommy discovers he has some new abilities. He can float through walls, which is pretty cool, but not very helpful for grabbing a remote control. He tries to push the remote, but his ghostly hands go right through it. Frustration builds. He watches in horror as the ghost in the tomato body, let's call him Ghost Tommy, continues his reign of terror. Ghost Tommy discovers the blender and seems fascinated by the whirring blades. This is a red alert situation. A tomato's worst nightmare. Tommy has to think, what can a ghost do? He can't touch things in the physical world, but maybe, just maybe, he can affect them in other ways. He remembers old ghost stories. They can make things cold, create gusts of wind. He focuses all his ghostly energy on the kitchen table. He thinks cold, icy thoughts. A small gust of wind stirs the napkins. It's working. He floats over to the remote control. He gathers all his concentration, picturing a tiny, focused whirlwind. He blows with all his might. A little puff of air scoots the remote a few inches across the floor. Yes, it's not much, but it's a start. Meanwhile, Ghost Tommy is now trying to juggle the salt and pepper shakers, which is not going well for the kitchen floor. Tommy knows he's running out of time. He needs a bigger gust of wind. He needs to get that remote back into into the ghost's hands, which are currently attached to his tomato body. He takes a deep, ghostly breath and whoosh! A massive gust of wind blasts through the kitchen. It sends the remote sliding across the linoleum, right towards Ghost Tommy. The ghost is so surprised by the sudden wind that it drops the shakers and wobbles. The remote bumps right into its round red side. Click! Zap! Another flash of light, even brighter than the first. Tommy feels that strange pulling sensation again, but this time it feels right, like coming home. When he can see again, he looks down. He sees his beautiful, round, red tomato body. He's back. He wiggles his stem. He can feel the cool floor beneath him. He did it. He's not a ghost anymore. He looks over and sees a faint, shimmering outline of the ghost floating near the ceiling. The ghost gives him a little wave, as if to say that was fun, and then fades away completely, probably off to find some other vegetable to haunt. Tommy has never been so happy to be a simple tomato. He looks at the remote control, now lying innocently on the floor. He learned his lesson. Some things are better left untouched. Ollie the onion rolls over. Tommy, you're back. For a minute there, you were acting very spicy. Tommy couldn't agree more. He tells Ollie the whole crazy story about being a ghost and the mischievous spirit who took over his body. Ollie, being a wise onion, listens patiently. From that day on, Tommy was a changed tomato. He was still adventurous, but a little more cautious. He appreciated the simple things, like the warmth of the sun and not being transparent. And what about the remote? Well, Tommy and Ollie worked together. Tommy, using his new and improved rolling skills, nudged a remote into a dark corner under the refrigerator, where no one or no tomato would ever find it again. They decided the world just wasn't ready for a body-swapping remote control, especially not in a kitchen full of unsuspecting vegetables. The experience taught Tommy a valuable lesson. Be happy with who you are, because being a ghost is a lot harder than it looks. And you should definitely listen to your onion friends. So, what do you think of Tommy's ghostly adventure? Could you imagine swapping bodies with something? Let me know down in the comments what you would do if you found a remote like that. It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it? I think I'd just hide it, like Tommy did. My own body is confusing enough, thanks. But it makes for a great story. Tommy went back to his dream of becoming a delicious pasta sauce, but now with an incredible tale to tell. The other vegetables on the counter would never look at him the same way again. He was no longer just Tommy the tomato. He was Tommy the tomato who had been a ghost and lived to tell the tale. And that, my friends, is a story worth sharing. It just goes to show you, you never know what kind of adventure is waiting for you, even on a quiet kitchen counter. So keep your eyes peeled for strange remote controls. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Tommy's spooky, silly story. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you're new here, consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next crazy adventure. We post new stories all the time, and you never know what we'll come up with next. Maybe a potato who can fly, or a carrot who can sing opera. The possibilities are endless. Stay safe, stay curious, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.